Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown. Welcome social media to my vlog, and today I'm going to do a two-parter because to really encapsulate all I need to say about this subject in hand is going to take more than one video. So I'm going to do like the theory and I'm going to do the practice. So this one is the theory, and this video is going out to some producers and some DJs. Why is it going out to some producers? It is simply because this video I think is going to be of help to those who are trying to get into music production. And I'm hoping that this video is going to be of help to the producers that's actually out there now that think that what their productions are is of an industry standard. Okay? I'm going to tell you from the get-go, some of your productions are not. And I've had that confirmed to me yesterday when a DJ was playing on a radio station. And this DJ was basically playing pure UK artists, right? And when the DJ finished the show, the other DJ who would normally come on after the commercial break actually came on before the commercial break and more or less kind of nudged the other DJ out. But before he done that, he said to the DJ, "Yeah man, big up. I want to big you up for actually taking the opportunity in bigging up the UK artists, even if some of the tunes them was off key. Because some of those singers, they just sound off key and their productions sound off key." He was saying that live on radio to the world. And he had no fear in saying that. Why? Because it is the truth. Some of the tunes that this DJ played were off key. Some of the production that this DJ played, I mean, there's no easy way of putting it. They were below par. They were substandard, right? So I'm not here to blow my own trumpet, but I need you guys to understand this from the get-go. You see that? That, right? I recorded 11 albums on that. Right? The software I use is Cubase SX, and the operating system I use is Windows 2000. Not Windows 10, but Windows 2000. I've recorded this. I've recorded this. I've recorded Brownie Points, Cornerstone, 30, New Veteran, 20, from the old school. I've recorded all of those albums on that. So don't make all the bells and whistles you see in some people's studio fool you, okay? Now some people know exactly what they need to do and they do it very, very well. But some people just have those things and they don't have a clue. I remember going into a studio one time and I saw a guy used a 2,000-pound microphone as a talkback microphone. And the talkback microphone is basically the microphone that the engineer or the producer needs to communicate with the singer in the vocal booth. A 2,000-pound microphone he's using as a talkback. So straight away I know he don't know what the hell he's doing, right? And then in that same session, he was basically reaching a stumbling point in relation to the rim shot sound, and he wanted a swing more than a one drop. And I was just trying to say, okay, maybe you need to basically move it to a quarter of the beat. And then he just shouted at me, saying to me, "I know what I'm doing." I just kept my mouth shut for the rest of the time, and he was still on that point. And then it took him like 45 minutes to get to the point where I was suggesting to him what he needed to do in the first place. Some horses you can lead to water, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, today I'm going to talk about what I use, right, in my productions, right, in terms of software. And this is going out to the DJs as well, because I need some of the DJs to understand, right, the process of what it takes to actually make a tune before you get your hands on a tune by begging other DJs to cop a copy of the tune so you can basically play it. Because you're not thinking about the artist. You're not thinking about the producer in that respect. You just want to copy so you can play in the dance and you get paid in your residency gigs. I've got no respect for you. None. I don't business. And I don't business if you don't play my tunes either. Seriously. You know what I mean? You know, because real DJs, yeah, they will get, they will get one free track, and if they like the track, they will just go into iTunes or whatever and buy whatever tracks they want to buy with their residency money that they're getting paid when they play out. You understand what I'm saying? So this is going out to you guys as well to make you understand the process of what we do. You might know the process, but sometimes you need reminding again with a little knock back in your head back. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, calm down, calm down, calm down. Okay, now I'm going to show you the equipment that I use, the software that I used. And these are basically MIDI instruments. What do you mean by MIDI? I hear MIDI all the time. What does that mean? Okay, well, MIDI is a term that is used for digital instruments, which are found in programs and are controlled by various types of controller that is plugged into the computer. So you have different types of controllers where you have faders and buttons and knobs, just like the buttons that you see on mixing desks and stuff like that. But the most common control that you would find that a MIDI instrument would use is one of these. It's a keyboard, all right? A lot of people use the keyboard because musically it serves a lot of purposes. So as well as a keyboard, basically playing a keyboard, blank, 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 right? As well as playing that, it also can play MIDI bass instruments, MIDI drum instruments, MIDI percussion instruments. How does it do that, Lloyd? I'm going to tell you. Right. So as well as playing keyboards, because you can have MIDI keyboards as well. So it will just basically just be a reflection of what you're playing on the keyboard, right? To give the keyboard sound. So we already know that. But in terms of basically playing drums and playing bass, this is the actual thing in practice. So say for example the drums now. So each key will be assigned to a different part of the drum kit. So for example, this first black note would be the kick drum. Boom, 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 boom. This one could be the hi-hat. This one could be the snare. Pa, pa, pa. Right? So you play them in a sequence. So it's boom, 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 pa, boom, pa. So you get where I'm coming from with that. So across all the different types of instruments, each key will be assigned to a particular instrument within the MIDI software. Okay? You understand that? Okay, good. Now, I'm going to show you what I use. And first of all, we have Hypersonic, which is basically a workstation, which is more or less a collection of all different types of instruments. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the box round and actually show you what you see on the computer screen when it's up and running. So you can see the instruments on the left, right? You see a bank of instruments on the right, so you can choose. And then you've got the controls down here, you know, so you can customize the EQs or the velocity. And then you've got the keyboard, which actually shows you which key on the piano is assigned to a particular part of the instrument or the entire instrument itself, right? Handy bit of kit. Bitty McLean, oh, let's get back to focus, right? Bitty McLean recommended this to me. This is one of the first pieces of equipment that Bitty McLean recommended to me. Because when I asked him, I said, look, Bitty, I want to build a little studio of industry standard. I'm not looking for no big multi-track desk in my yard. You know, a PC-based studio that is industry standard. And Bitty, being a world-class engineer and producer, knew exactly what I was talking about. So this is what he more or less set up. Okay, so still sticking on the MIDI theme, right? Okay, Now, because I don't have a live kit in my yard, and I'm not going to have a live kit in my yard, it doesn't excuse you from having a digital drum kit in your yard. By that I mean having a digital kit that is not a synthetic version of the sound. It's actually real recordings of the sound that I told you in other videos. And the main MIDI instrument is Easy Drummer. And this basically is a MIDI software where when you plug it in, it will give you a basic drum kit that you can adjust the velocity of each hit with a humanized button. But I'm going to show you all of that in part 2. It's kind of hard to explain without showing you, right? But anyway, this is the bog standard drum kit that you will get, okay? Now, with that, you can get expansions. And I have to say, this is one of my prized possessions right now. Funk Masters. It's the Funk Masters expansion. Why I love it so much is because the drums were recorded by Clive Stubberfield. If you don't know who this guy is, then you don't know music. You don't know music. You don't know soul music, at least. Because this brother was James Brown's drummer. Now, if you know the funky drummer, drum loop, one of the most sampled loops in music history, are this brother. He was the drummer that a lot of people sampled, okay? Now, unfortunately, he passed away last month, right? But we have the legacy of being able to say Clive Stubberfield played on a reggae tune or soul tune or what have you in my studio, okay? Now I'm going to explain to you in the next video, like I said, how all of this comes into practice, because all you're looking at, you're just looking at a box with 2 drum kits on the cover, and you're thinking, well, how the hell does that work? I'll show you on the next one. So with each expansion, you put it into Easy Drummer, and it will select the expansions. You can pick 1, 2, or 3, or a combination of all of them. Here's a Latin percussion one, and it's just percussions. And all of these instruments were recorded live with different levels of velocity. And when you use the humanize button, it will basically select the amount of random hits as opposed to straight hits. So the more humanized it is, the more random hits. The less, the less. You know what I mean? And this is a claustrophobic drum kit, which is mainly used for hip hop and R&B. Okay? Now, what do I use to actually sing in? I'm going to show you. I use this. It's an M Audio Luna. I've had this for 11 years. Don Campbell has sung in that. Peter Hunningale has sung in that. Kelly LaRock has sung in that. Peter Spence has sung in that. Michael Gordon has sung in that. Donna Marie has sung in that. Don Ricardo has sung in that. Phoebe One has sung in that. Noel McCoy has sung in that. All right, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I don't need to get concussions with the names I'm dropping here. Okay. Where do I sing? Where do I voice? Because you got your studio in your flat, so where do you voice? I'm going to tell you. I voice my tracks in my wardrobe. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I voice my tracks in my wardrobe. I don't buy those expensive half moon things that are wrapped around the microphone because I don't need to. I'm just one of these dudes. I make my resources work for me. If I don't have it, right, and there's another way of getting around it, I'll just get around it, because the end result is people ain't going to see the equipment that you record your music on. And I've seen enough producers who have expensive equipment that makes subpar music. And that is a fact. I'm not being bad mind when I say that. It's just a fact, right? I sing in my closet, and so do all of the other artists that I mentioned. You know what I mean? Because the last time I checked, my doo-doo stinks too. And they all understand. They all get it, because they know as well. So they voice in my closet. I voice in my closet, in my wardrobe, right? And that is the best sound insulation you can get, because you can open, if you've got like doors that open like this, as opposed to sliding doors, you just drape over towels over each door, so it dampens the sound there. And your clothes, it dampens the sound there as well. Or you can literally just basically just hang up a blanket from the top of the door right down to the level where you're basically singing at. And also you can just put up you can put up a cloth, a square piece of cloth on each wall, and that will dampen the sound as well. Do you know what I mean? And that serves, for me anyway, you know. So that is a basic rundown of what I use to produce my music. And in the next video, part 2, I'm going to actually show you all of these expansions, MIDI instruments, MIDI programs. I'm going to show you all of these in action on the next video. Okay? So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all of the love, all of the feedback, all of the props I've been getting in relation to these vlogs I'm doing. You know, I'm not just doing this just to kinteet with you guys. You know, I'm doing it because I don't really have anything to prove, and I just want to just reflect to you guys what I do and be honest with you. You know, I'm not one of these yes man. It's like, if your thing ain't up to scratch and it ain't up to speed, you know what I mean? You're not representing what's coming out of the UK by putting out anything good when it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a worldwide thing now. I don't want the rest of the world to look at what we're doing and regard it as a joke thing, when we have great artists in our midst right here. You know, so we all need to lift up the thing. Producers, DJs, singers, musicians, producers, we all need to lift up the thing. We all need to lift up the thing. You know what I mean? It's not a look at me thing. It's look at us thing. You get me? Anyway, is with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu for now. And as always, you done know the coup. Abstain from foolishness. So until I catch you guys on the next one, have a blessed day, afternoon, evening, and night. Magan.